Hey guys, I've tried recording this several times, so hopefully this is the last go. But this is going to be basically a TBR video. It was going to be a current reads, but then I realized I pretty much have all of my reading for the month planned out for various reasons. So, yep. But the thing is, I'm okay with this being a TBR video because I have so many books that I want to read this month that I am giving myself a lot of different options. So I'm not restricting myself to like 5 or 6 books. There's like at least 15 or 20 books on this list. So I'm giving myself a lot of choices. Okay, so first of all, there's a book that I don't know if I'm going to read or not, because I'm not really in the mood for this book right now, but I do have it out from the library, and that is Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. This is the book that Hamilton, the musical, is based on, and I put this on hold from the library as soon as I saw the musical, which was via bootleg DVD, so it wasn't me, it was my friend. But anyway, so this one, I really, really want to read it because I think a book that is so good that it inspires, specifically a biography that is so good that it inspires someone to write an entire musical based on it, has to be pretty amazing. But I have to be in the mood for nonfiction when I am trying to read it, and this is huge. And right now there are just so many other things that I would rather be reading. So I think I might return this to the library and read it another time. Like put my name back on the hold list and maybe read it next year or something. Not that I had to wait that long, but reading it next year would be better because then it would be after I've read so many of my own books that I won't feel as much guilt about reading an 800-page book from the library when I could be reading, 4 200-page books from my own shelves. So anyway, this is a giant if. And in the meantime, my main priority for this week, if I can find it, where'd it go? Okay. My main priority for this week is Tess of the dUrbervilles by Thomas Hardy, which I'm reading with Kailey from BooksforMKs, and she is so far ahead of me in this book. I am very lucky that I actually saw the miniseries before reading this, which normally it makes me sad when I see an adaptation before I read the book, but except for things like North and South, because, well, okay, so it doesn't really make me sad, but sometimes I wonder if I'll like the book as much as I like the adaptation when I see the adaptation first. But with this, I think it's really going to help me to love the book because I already know how much I like the story, and I also am already pre-warned about all the depressing things that happen in this book. So I feel like that is going to help soften the blow and my emotions. And also, I feel like Thomas Hardy's writing is really, really going to help with this. But unfortunately, I don't think Kailey is having the same luck. When I talked to her, she was just very frustrated with the characters, which I have heard that in the book, the 2 main characters are much more frustrating than, like, I feel like they're, like, toned down for the adaptation. So, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what I think, but I am sad that Kailey is having such a frustrating time with this. But anyway, I hope that she ends up enjoying it, and I'm hoping that I will too. And then other things for this week are I will be reading the Griffin and Sabine series by Nick Bantock. He is amazing, and this book series is one of my favorites. I'm rereading the first 6 and then reading the 7th one for the first time because that just came out in March, and it's the first Griffin and Sabine book to come out in 13 years. I really don't think Nick Bantock expected to write another one. So that will be a blast to read some new material. from him, and yeah, so I'll probably read like one of these a day. I'm halfway through this one, and they only take like 20 minutes to read, but I fell asleep when I was reading this the first time, so, or, you know, like a week ago, so I need to get back into this. And then, some books that I want to read in place of Alexander Hamilton, because I was kind of planning on reading that for the next 4 days, and it could still happen, we'll see. But if it doesn't, then what I will be reading instead is Redwall by Brian Jakes, just because it's about time, and I watched some really great recordings of him from before he died, when he toured at Borders and some store in Austin, Texas. And he was just such a funny man. Like, he was so funny and so sweet to kids, and like, how he came up with this was just so great. And also, what I thought was awesome is when he was writing Redwall, he was reading to blind children either before that or like during, and what he decided he wanted to do when writing Redwall is he wanted to write it basically for blind children. Like, he did all of these really rich descriptions in the book so that blind kids would be able to picture perfectly exactly what everything was supposed to look like. And the reason he did this is because he said he really didn't like the stories that he was reading to them, so he wanted to write something with magic and adventure, and yep. So reading that, and then I will be reading Anne of Avonlea as well as Anne of the Island by L.M. Montgomery, because I just really want to get back into this world. After reading Anne of Green Gables, it was wonderful, and something, like, one of my favorite things that happens in the film happens at the end of the third book, so I need to read this one so I can get to the third one. And I'm hoping I'll love this one as well. And then I want to read The Giver by Lois Lowry, just because I have the movie out from the library right now, and I'm really eager to see the differences. I already know a couple, but I'm interested to see how much I love this. I'm hoping to really love both, just based on how much people rave about this book. And I enjoyed the film, so. Next, I want to reread A Midsummer Night's Dream, because I have seen 2 recent adaptations of this, so it's just made me, it's just put me in the mood to reread this, because I haven't read it since the first time I read it, which was like 3 years ago now. So, yep. And then I want to read Lady Windermeres Fan from this collection of Oscar Wilde plays. I've read Importance of Being Earnest and An Ideal Husband, and An Ideal Husband is my favorite non-Shakespeare play. It is amazing. So, yeah, I'm very eager to read another one of Wilde's plays and see what I think. And then I want to read The Warden by Anthony Trollope, and I have the audiobook out for that, so I'll probably try to read that before this trip that I'm going on soon. And then I will be reading Lark Rise by Flora Thompson, as well as Over to Candleford this month. So not all of it, because I'm about halfway through Lark Rise, so I'll be reading 1.5 of these. And then Kate from Kate Howe and I are doing a Google Hangout, but when she asked if I wanted to do it, I'm a little bit confused as to whether or not she wants to do this after we finish Lark Rise, or after, well, actually, she's technically already finished with Lark Rise, or after we finish Over to Candleford, or after we finish Candleford Green, which is the third one. So, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But I'm very excited about that, because I've never done one of those before. So, yes. And then, what else? I want to read Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco, which I'm reading with one of my best friends, but we are putting this on hold until after this trip that I go on, because I can't take books that I'm also listening to on audio because I won't have charging capabilities for my phone or my computer while I'm on this trip. So I'm just taking books that I'm not also listening to. So I will read this when I get home. Another one that I'm reading this month, hopefully, is Sweet Française by Irene Nemirovsky, which is up there. And it's just about time that I read it, so I'm really hoping to get to that. As well as the 4 graphic novels that make up Age of Apocalypse for XMen. I saw the film and I completely loved it. The cast was amazing, as always. The story was great. It was definitely Eric/Magneto's strongest and saddest chapter of his early, or like of the First Class branch of the X-Men films. It was definitely his strongest and saddest chapter so far in that. And Michael Fassbender did an amazing job as usual. Like, he made me cry. So did James McAvoy as Charles Xavier. There were times when Xavier made me cry, but just his storyline, Eric's, really made me cry this time. And Michael Fassbender, just every time I see him, it gets me all emotional because he's such a good actor. Like, he's hands down one of my favorites pretty much ever. So yes, that was awesome. But because of that, I need to now read the graphic novels. And I'm glad that I'm reading them after, because I feel like if I had read them before, I would have just been making all these nitpicky comparisons during the film, which isn't really fun when you go see a film. You just want to sit back and enjoy it. So yes. And then also Aquaman is up there, so I'm reading that as well. And then I want to finish The Pickwick Papers by Dickens at some point, as well as Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett, as well as Reader, I Married Him by Tracy Chevalier, as well as the 6 Poirot short stories that that I haven't finished in his Poirot's Early Cases collection. I haven't finished those yet, so I need to finish those. And then also I will be finishing Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons, just because I really, really need to. And then, what else? Did I say... I said Anne of Avonlea and Anne of the Island. And then I have several books out from the library, or that I'm going to get from the library. 2 of them are, whatchamacallit, Shadowkiss and... Or no, I have Frostbite on ebook right now, and then I am getting the physical copies of Shadowkiss and Blood Promise, which are books 2, 3, and 4 in the Vampire Academy series, because I just finished the first one last month and I really enjoyed it. And it was... I read it in maybe like 4 or 5 hours, so it's a very quick book to get through. And then... What was I going to say? I also have a couple others that I'm... Oh, All Creatures Great and Small by James Herriot. Kate from Kate Howe is doing a read-along this summer that is the first 3 books in the All Creatures Great and Small series. So I will hopefully be reading that this month as well. I feel like that's going to be a priority since it's a library book. And then... books that I am taking with me on this trip that I'm going on, where I won't have much electricity, so therefore won't be able to listen to anything, are primary focus is going to be War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I'm hoping to get at least 1 volume read from this, which is going to be about 260 something pages from this, because I'm already about 40 pages into the first volume, and it ends... I'm on like page 336, and it ends on page 600. Yes, so hopefully getting the second volume of this read. And then also The Moorland Cottage by Elizabeth Gaskell, to kind of take a break from the Russian literature. As well as Dubrovsky by Alexander Pushkin, which is in the same edition, and it's more Russian literature. And then also one of the Vampire Academy books, probably Shadow Kiss, because since Frostbite I only can read on my phone, I'm going to try to read that before I leave. And did I say I'm also reading The Warden by Anthony Trollope? I don't know if I said that, but I'm also reading The Warden. Okay, I think that's everything. That's a lot of books. So yeah, I think that's everything, but I'm not totally certain, and I may have mentioned something twice, so if I did, apologies for that. But yeah, that should be all, and thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know what you think of all of these. You guys probably think I'm nuts for putting all of these in this list, but we'll see, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.